Let me ask you something. When was the last time you checked your bank balance and actually felt good about it? Be honest. For most of us, checking our account is either stressful, disappointing, or we just avoid it altogether. Now here's a wilder question. Do you ever wonder why some people seem to just keep getting richer almost automatically, while most of us are grinding every single month just to stay afloat? Same 24 hours, same economy, same rising prices, but completely different financial outcomes. Why? Is it luck? Rich parents? Some secret investment tip only they know about? No. It comes down to one thing. Habits. Daily, boring, unglamorous habits that nobody talks about. Today we're going to break down exactly how the poor manage money, exactly how the rich manage money, and most importantly, what you can start doing differently starting this week. Let's get into it. Okay, real talk. And I want you to actually think about this as we go through it. Think about the last time you got paid. What happened in the first 48 hours after that money hit your account? Did you pay a bill? Order food? Buy something you had been eyeing for a while? Maybe transferred a little to savings? Or told yourself you would and then forgot? If any of that sounds familiar, you are not alone. That is literally how the majority of people operate with money, and it's not your fault. Nobody taught us this stuff. We spent years in school learning things we never used, but not a single class on how to actually manage the money we earn. So here's what the financially struggling pattern looks like, and I want you to honestly ask yourself how many of these hit close to home. The first habit is spending first and saving what's left. Salary comes in, rent goes out, then food, then a few small treats because you deserve it after a hard week, then some online shopping, a dinner out, and by the 25th of the month, you're already calculating how many days are left until the next paycheck. Sound familiar? This pattern has a name. It's called lifestyle first spending, and it guarantees that savings will always be zero because your lifestyle will always expand to consume whatever income you have. There is never a right time to start saving if you wait until the end of the month. The second habit, using debt to buy things that lose value the moment you buy them. Quick question. Do you have an EMI running right now? A credit card balance? A buy now, pay later pending? Think about what that debt was spent on. A phone? Clothes? A vacation? These things are not bad to enjoy, but financing them with debt means you are paying extra money for something that is already losing value, and that math never works in your favor. The third habit, one income stream, full stop. One job, one salary. If that job disappears tomorrow because of a layoff, a health issue, a company shutdown, what happens? For most people, the answer is terrifying. Zero buffer, zero backup. Everything depends on one single source of money that someone else controls completely. Fourth, avoiding your own finances. Here's a question. When did you last actually sit down and look at where your money went this month? Not just a quick glance, but really looked. Most people don't because it feels uncomfortable and sometimes even shameful. But avoiding the numbers doesn't make them better. It just means the problem grows quietly in the background while you look away. And fifth, spending money to look rich instead of becoming rich. Be honest with yourself here. Have you ever bought something not because you really needed it, but because of how it would look to others? The new phone everyone's talking about, the brand name on a bag, the car that costs more than 3 months of salary but feels like status. This is one of the most financially dangerous habits out there because it drains real money in exchange for a perception, and perceptions don't pay your bills. Let me ask you this. What do you imagine a rich person's daily routine looks like? Fancy breakfast, expensive car, signing big deals all day? Maybe, but here's what most people don't know. Many genuinely wealthy people live surprisingly ordinary lives. They drive normal cars, they live in modest homes, they don't flash what they have. Why? Because the habits that build the wealth never go away. The rich don't become careful with money after they get rich. They got rich because they were careful with money. So what are those habits exactly? Habit 1. Pay yourself first. Before rent, before groceries, before anything. The moment money comes in, a fixed percentage moves straight to investments or savings. Automatically, without thinking, without negotiating with yourself about whether you can afford it. This is the single biggest shift you can make in your financial life. Not how much you earn, but the sequence in which you handle what you earn. Ask yourself honestly, are you paying yourself first, or are you paying everyone else first and hoping something is left for you? Habit 2. Obsession with assets over income. Here's something most people never think about. Truly rich people don't get wealthy from their salary. Their wealth comes from ownership, shares in companies, rental properties, businesses that run without them, investments that grow while they sleep. The rich don't just ask, how do I earn more? They ask, what can I own that earns for me? Think about that for a second. Do you own anything right now that makes you money without you actively working for it? If the answer is no, that's exactly where the gap starts. Habit 3. Living below their means even when they don't have to. This one surprises people every time. Many rich people drive simple cars, cars, shop during sales, and think twice before every big purchase. Not because they can't afford it, but because that discipline is precisely why they're rich in the first place. Here's the thing they understand that most people don't. Lifestyle inflation is the silent killer of wealth. Every time your income goes up and your spending goes up to match it, you are canceling out your own progress. So ask yourself honestly, every time you got a raise or a bonus, did your savings go up or did your spending go up? Habit 4. Investing in themselves constantly. The rich treat their mind like a growing asset. They read, they take courses, they learn about money, business, and investing consistently. Not just once, not just in school, but their entire lives. Because here's the truth. Your skills, your knowledge, your ability to think clearly about money and opportunity, that is your greatest asset. Not your salary, not your phone. You. Are you actively investing in yourself right now? Or are you coasting on what you already know? Habit 5. Thinking in years and decades, not days and months. Most of us are thinking about getting through this week. The rich person is thinking about where this decision puts them in 10 years. They plant seeds they may not harvest immediately. They build systems. They delay gratification in ways that feel almost unnatural, because our brains are wired for immediate reward. But wealth is built in slow, boring, consistent increments over long periods of time. The question is, are you making decisions for the version of you that exists today, or the version that will exist 10 years from now? Here's the uncomfortable reality that school, society, and honestly, most people in your life never told you. The financial divide between the rich and everyone else is not primarily about income. A person earning $10,000 a month with bad money habits will always be broke. A person earning $4,000 a month with strong money habits will slowly and steadily build something real. Let that land for a moment. It is not how much you make. It is what you do with what you make. And here's the thing that genuinely makes me angry. Nobody teaches this. We spend over a decade in school learning subjects most of us never use, but not 1 hour on compound interest, budgeting, taxes, or how investments actually work. That gap in education is why so many genuinely hardworking, intelligent people are financially stuck. Not because they're lazy, not because they're not smart enough, but because nobody ever handed them the rule book. The good news? The rule book exists, and you can pick it up anytime you decide to. So let me leave you with this. The poor spend first, save what's left. The rich save first, spend what's left. The poor buy things that look impressive but drain their wallet. The rich buy things that grow and generate income. The poor depend on one income. The rich build multiple streams and own assets. The poor avoid their finances. The rich track every dollar. The poor think about surviving this month. The rich think about building the next decade. Now, I want to ask you one final question, and I genuinely want you to answer this in the comments. Which one of these habits do you think is holding you back the most right now? Because awareness is always step one. You don't need to be rich already to start thinking like the rich. You just need to start. One habit, one decision, 1 week at a time. If this hit home for you, share it with one person in your life who needs to hear it. And subscribe, because every week we talk about the things about money and mindset that school never taught us. See you in the next one.